Bubba here at 3Z. So I'm going to pick up what UPT was like, pilot training was like in the Air Force 54 years ago. 54 years ago today, we completed the T-41 phase of flying. And that constituted 6 weeks, 30 hours of flying for each one of us. And that was I had a lot of fun with that. Although the 30-minute ride from Randolph to Stinson wasn't that real exciting, just the same. It gave us a chance to get to know each other in the class and kind of bond with each other. Now, we lost maybe one or two guys that I can think of during that 6 weeks, primarily because of manifestations of apprehension, MOA. That's where they could not overcome air sickness or anxiety or anything like that. One of the fellows, a good friend of mine, took a hit in that vein. He'd get to the nose gear and start throwing up, and I don't know how many times he could even get in the airplane, but be that as it may, he didn't make it through the T-41 program. And I was sorry to see that because I really liked Tom. At any rate, in the afternoons or the mornings that we weren't over flying, we were busy with a lot of other ancillary things, academics, parachute training, both on a swing land trainer that taught us how to do parachute landing falls, and then a T-37 seat simulator that shot us up the rail. And then we went over to Brooks Air Force Base for parasailing. Now that was a lot of fun. They hooked us up on this parasail, towed us behind a pickup truck until we got to a certain height, and then we hit these releases and then floated down to the ground and put what we had learned in PLF training, put it to good use. Now you couldn't do parasail training at Brooks Air Force Base because they sold out and it's now a freaking mall. But be that as it may, it's called Progress, I suppose. Okay, I get off track. So we did that, and then we also did the altitude chamber for physiological training down in the basement of building 661 at Randolph. The T-37 could operate up to 25,000 feet, no higher than that, because it was not pressurized. So that's why we needed to have that training before we reported to the T-37 flight line. Another important thing we did was we came together as a class in room 45, hangar 12. And I hate to tell you that room's no longer there anymore. But anyway, we came together as a class to decide on a class patch. Now, our classes, the class numbers were set by the fiscal year. So, like we were class 7107. Actually, I should have said the fiscal year we were going to graduate. So we were class 7107, which meant we began in fiscal year 70 as the 7th class. So we came up with this class patch here, and it's a beauty. 7107, G being the 7th letter of the alphabet, of course. But most of us grew up with Wile E. Coyote, and we thought we had this made. And so this just became a natural for us. And I still have that patch on a flight suit or a flight jacket that I wear today in the fall and wintertime sometimes. It still brings a lot of pride to me. The reason I have this is because I think in 1978, I came back to Randolph to work in headquarters ATC flight safety. And part of my M processing was to M process in the auger in. That was on my checklist. I don't know how many others. So I go down the auger in, and I see all these class plaques like this one. These are made out of wood, but they're all on the floor lined up just outside the barber shop. I used to have a barber shop downstairs in the basement there. And I kind of looked at them, and when did they take these down off the wall, and why? What we would do, we had our class plaque made up, and when we became the senior class, we would take that class plaque and hang it right above the bar where Mr. Moss was the barkeep, And it would sit there for the 6 weeks we were the senior class, and then they'd take it down off that and put it on the walls with the other. Think of it as something like a ring of fame that you see in baseball stadiums and football stadiums. And for years, I'd go down to the Auger Inn on occasion, and I'd see our class patch up there with the others, and it was something of pride to see. So this one day I walk in there and I see our class plaque lined up with all the others on the floor just outside the bar. What the hell? So I asked about, and they said they didn't need them or want them anymore, and kind of left it at that. Well, on the way out, I grabbed mine. And today I wish I'd have grabbed them all. I really wish, because that is part of a heritage of UPT at Randolph. And I just don't want to think what they did with the others. Bastages. But at any rate, that's called progress, I suppose. So tomorrow I'm going to pick up this thread and take off with my experiences in T-37s. And there'll be a lot more to share with you because it did pick up and quite a few more experiences and tweets than there was in T-41s. So with that being said, this is Bobo. Good to see everyone. Base gear. Stop.